Previously on Sims Survivor. At the Immunity Challenge, the 6 remaining castaways competed in an endurance competition to see who could last in the sauna the longest. In the end, Steven was able to surpass the competition and was able to guarantee himself immunity from the upcoming Tribal Council. At Tribal Council, Annabella, Calypso, and Jocelyn all teamed up to vote out Leon, who became the 6th member of the jury. 5 castaways remain, who will be voted out next. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sims Survivor. It feels like just yesterday we started off with 18 castaways, but 13 eliminations later, and we now have our final 5. This is going to be the first installment of our 3-part finale, in which in the 3rd part you will find out who will win Sims Survivor Season 1. I'm really excited to find out who's going to win. We've had a lot of explosive personalities, and I did not expect the final 5 to be who they are, but regardless, I am excited to find out who's going to take home the winning. Looking back at our last episode, I was shocked that Leon was the one eliminated, and I was also shocked that Jocelyn voted him out. I thought that they were going to remain 𝗵𝗂𝗎 strong, but I guess not. She took that opportunity to get rid of a strong player, in my opinion, and we are now left with 4 original 𝗬𝗂 and 1 original 𝗵𝗂𝗎. With 2 idols left and another explosive tribal council in today's episode, we are sure to see crazy things happen in this game. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. In my opinion, the original 𝗬𝗂 tribe has undoubtedly dominated this season. The fact that out of the final 5, there are 4 from the original 6 𝗬𝗂 in here is extremely impressive and kind of astounding. I did not expect them to completely bulldoze throughout. Jocelyn is the last remaining member from any tribe that's not 𝗬𝗂. She lost Leon in the last tribal council, and I was extremely shocked that she decided to vote him out, because that was someone that she could have used to fight against this 𝗬𝗂. Because while she does have an idol, once it gets to that final 4, they could easily all team up and vote her out, simply due to the fact that she was not on their original tribe. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. For this upcoming immunity challenge, Luke, Calypso, and Annabella are definitely going to need to fight hard for it. It's almost guaranteed that Steven and Jocelyn are going to be safe due to the fact that they both have hidden immunity idols. So in order to secure a spot in the final 4, these 3 are going to need to fight for it, or they could easily be the next person voted out. I don't want any 3 of them to go home, but someone has to. It's Survivor, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's also worth noting that in the top 9, we had 6 men left in the game and 3 women, so it's really cool to see that at the last tribal council, the 3 women teamed up to get rid of yet another guy, and going into this final 5 in the finale, they are the majority in the tribe. So I'd be very interested to see if they are going to continue to work together, but with how dynamics have been working out, people have been flopping from side to side to side every single vote thus far, so I'm not too optimistic about it. If Jocelyn or Steven win the immunity challenge, they could use their hidden immunity idol to guarantee a spot in the final 4 for one of Annabella, Luke, or Calypso. So you could easily bring your closest ally with you to the final 4, and that's an extra vote that's not going to send you home and get you closer to that final 3. I also think it might be good in the eyes of the jury, because that is a strong play to make, because not only are you guaranteeing yourself there, but you're guaranteeing someone else there. So their game and their place in the game is reliant on the fact that you helped get them there. I have to give props to Annabella. I was fully expecting her to be the one to be voted out at the last tribal council, simply due to the fact that in previous votes, she has received a lot of votes cast against her. So I assumed that she would be the one to be eliminated this time because she didn't have immunity anymore, but her social connections kept her in the game. Those 2 tribal councils in which she had immunity, she was navigating her social relationships, improving her relationships with everyone, and I think that's the reason why she's still in the game, so all the props to ya. Luke is probably the biggest wild card in my opinion. He hasn't really received any votes against him, so I'm assuming he has really good social connections with everyone, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just because he hasn't been the biggest target at the moment and people are just waiting because he's not at the top of their list to get out, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think he could very easily make it to the final 3 or get eliminated before then. There's like no in between. Those are also the only options. I don't know why I said that, but like, you get the idea. Like, I don't know what he's up to, because he's betrayed alliances in the past, so maybe it's going to catch up with him eventually. It is now time for the next immunity challenge. This challenge is called Prized Presents, and here's how it works. For today's immunity challenge, the 5 castaways will each obtain a gift from their pile of presents. Whomever has the gift worth the most amount will win immunity and will be safe from Tribal Council. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we have Annabella. And Annabella has received a Yuki doll, which is worth 25 simoleons. Next up, we have Steven. And Steven received a kitchen quality knife block, which is 290 simoleons. Steven is currently in the lead. Next up, we have Calypso. And Calypso has received a Hopper doll, which is worth 20 simoleons. Steven is still in the lead with 290. Next up, we have Luke.
Oh, Goya. Yosta?
And Luke has received a barely better digital camera, which is worth 85 simoleons, so Steven is still in the lead with 290. And finally, we have Jocelyn. Jocelyn has received a poolside gnome, which is worth 275 simoleons, which is just short. Congratulations to Steven! You are safe at the upcoming Tribal Council and will be guaranteed a spot in the Final 4. Congratulations once again to Steven. You are safe from Tribal Council. After 34 days in this game, Annabella, Calypso, Luke, and Jocelyn, one of you will be the next person voted out of Sim Survivor. That's all I have left to say. You have a lot of deliberation ahead of you. Head back to camp. Because Steven won the individual immunity, he now has the advantage of either using his hidden immunity idol, or he can decide to not use it. If he chooses to use it, he can save one of his closest allies and bring them to the Final 4 with him. This is a huge advantage because then that person will not likely vote against him in the Final 4, where he won't be able to have his idol. So Steven is creating a great pathway to get himself to the Final 3, and his gameplay has really developed throughout the season, and I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do with it. Multiple things could happen at this Tribal Council. If the original 𝗏𝗏 tribe tries to take a shot at Jocelyn, she's probably going to use her hidden immunity idol, and then she would have the final say of who would be eliminated. However, if the girls decide to stick together, they could easily take out Luke, but Luke could also work with Steven to take out someone if they get one more person. There's a lot of scenarios that could happen, and it's definitely going to be all over the place. I can place as many predictions as I want, but at the end of the day, this game is so unpredictable, and it's shown me time and time again to just let things happen, because you can't really foresee what's going to occur. In order for Luke to stay, it is in his best interest to get Jocelyn and Steven on his side, simply due to the fact that Calypso and Annabella have been on every tribe this season together, so they're probably not going to vote for each other. And because they only have one other option, Luke unfortunately is probably going to get some of the votes. So if he wants to stay, he needs to make a big move and try and take a shot at them, but it's not going to be easy. I'm very proud of Calypso for getting to this point. I said a few episodes ago that I was worrisome about her game because I felt that she was kind of coasting along and kind of falling under the radar a bit too much, but she is still in this. She's in the final 5. She's fought her way to get here, and I'm very happy to see her here because I think she's a dynamic personality and I think she brings a lot to the game. So I think she's a bit of an underdog this season, so to see her get to this point is definitely a huge accomplishment for her. Jocelyn is in a great position going into tonight's tribal council. She has her hidden immunity idol to use if necessary. She's probably going to use it regardless, but it's a great opportunity for her to see who's aligned with her and who's not, and to expose votes cast against her, because if she gets all 4 votes against her, she will be able to know that she can't trust any of the other people in the tribe moving forward. Annabella has played a really strong game up to this point, and I could see parallels between what happened to Leon happening to her at tribal council tonight, so she definitely needs to watch her back because she's won immunities in the past and she's kept herself safe, and she could easily be a target because she's a threat to win the game. It is now time for Tribal Council. Before we begin, we will first bring in the members of our jury. Alyssa, Abigail, Dylan, Ismail, Khaled, and Leon, who was voted out at the last Tribal Council. Without further ado, let's get to the vote. Annabella, you're up first. I will now go tally the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and you would like to use it, now is the last time to do so. Jocelyn has decided to use a hidden immunity idol. All votes cast against Jocelyn will not count. Steven has decided to use a hidden immunity idol on Luke. All votes cast against Luke will not count. I will now read the votes. Jocelyn does not count. Jocelyn does not count. Luke does not count. Annabella, that's 1 vote Annabella, 1 vote left. Calypso, we have a tie. That's 1 vote Annabella, 1 vote Calypso. So how this is going to work: Annabella, Calypso, you cannot vote. Steven, Luke, Jocelyn, you can only vote for Annabella or Calypso. Steven, you're up first. I will now tally the votes again. First vote, Annabella. Calypso, that's 1 vote Annabella, 1 vote Calypso, 1 vote left. 14th person voted out of Sim Survivor and the 7th member of our jury. Calypso, that's 2, that's enough. Please come bring me your torch. Calypso, the tribe has spoken. Annabella, Steven, Luke, and Jocelyn. The only thing that stands between the 4 of you in getting to the final 3 is 1 immunity challenge. I suggest you go rest up for it and prepare yourself for tomorrow. That's all I have left to say. Head back to camp. And that concludes yet another episode of Sims Survivor. We have our top 4. We have 3 original Way2 tribe members and 1 original Makani. We have 2 girls and 2 guys. So it's going to be very interesting to see who is going to get to the final 3. It's been very intense up to this point, that last tribal council. I feel bad for Calypso, but it was just a series of unfortunate events. Stephen saved Luke and Jocelyn saved herself. Had idols not been in play tonight, Jocelyn would have gone home. So it's very important to always be on your toes in this game. Hidden immunity idols can save you from being voted out. Thank you so much for watching this series. It honestly means the world to me. We're almost at the finale and we're almost about to find out who's going to win this series. I'm really excited. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next episode.